Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome once again to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel. This is the official Q&A series of NoDQ.com, so let's not waste any more time. Let's get right down to your questions. First one today comes from Hawaii Dens. Hey Aaron, kind of confused on where they are going with the Stephanie McMahon and Vince McMahon storyline on Raw. Where do you think they're going with this story? Well, the storyline is that Vince and Stephanie and the rest of the McMahon family are very concerned about the well-being of Triple H, and basically what happened is Vince and Stephanie appeared on Raw this week as a way to try to boost up the ratings. WWE was very concerned about the NBA playoff games, and the ratings still did terrible. So they're trying to hot shot the storyline right now. I mean, it was supposed to drag on for several months. But they already have Vince and Stephanie out there, and they're doing Triple H versus Curtis Axel next week, which I don't think was supposed to happen this quickly. But yeah, the storyline is that something happened to Triple H, whether it's a concussion or whatever, and the McMahon family just doesn't want him competing. It was supposed to play out over several months, and it looks like they're going to continue hot-shotting it. I mean, with the ratings being down, I think they're feeling a little bit desperate. So we'll probably be seeing more Vince and Stephanie in the weeks to come. All right, this one comes from Y2J the Best. Hi Aaron, who do you think is going to win the 3 Stages of Hell match at Payback? I think Ryback because he has lost too many pay-per-views in a row. Hope to hear your response. Greetings from Finland. Well, I don't know if WWE is going to put the WWE title on Ryback. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I think I would have to lean towards Cena retaining. I think what's going to happen is Cena will win the first match, the Lumberjack match, where there's no way out for Ryback, although they could have somebody cheap shot John Cena and Ryback gets the win. And then you have the tables match, but I think it's more likely Cena wins the first one and then Ryback wins the tables match because losing the tables match doesn't really mean anything, and it won't hurt John Cena at all to lose a tables match, and he doesn't have to be pinned or made to submit by Ryback. So I could see that happening, and it could always go the other way, but obviously it'll be one apiece, and then there'll be the ambulance match. And at that point, I mean, I could see John Cena retaining. And the thing is, Ryback will at least have one win, so it won't be too bad, I guess, but the reality is that WWE wants to keep pushing John Cena as the WWE champion, and he's selling all those title belts and the T-shirts with the champ is here, and I think they're gonna just try to milk that for as long as they can. So I would be surprised to see Ryback win the title, but I'm not gonna rule it out. Anything can happen. I think it's another one of those situations where WWE will keep going back and forth on how to go with this. It could be a decision they make the day of the show where they decide, okay, maybe we should put the title on Ryback. He's lost too many matches, and then John can just win it back at Money in the Bank or whatever. So it's really a toss-up. I think it could go either way. All right, this one comes from Joe Breeze 10. What are your thoughts on Jerry Lawler, both as a wrestler in his heyday and as an announcer? Well, Jerry Lawler was a tremendous wrestler back in his day and just very charismatic. And, he was the king of Memphis. He was a huge superstar in that region, the Mid-South region in Memphis, Tennessee. I mean, Jerry Lawler was like a god to those people. So Jerry Lawler was definitely a huge superstar during his period. And he deserves that recognition. And unfortunately, most fans of today just... They see him as an announcer and don't know about the great wrestling career that he had in the 70s and 80s, which is unfortunate. But, it would be really cool if WWE one of these days did a Jerry Lawler DVD. I think that would be awesome. He had a great feud with Andy Kaufman in the early 80s, too. And if you watch the Man on the Moon movie, you can get a little bit more insight into that feud. And as far as being an announcer, early on, he was really good. During the 1990s, when he was the heel announcer, I thought he was tremendous, and the stuff he did with Bret Hart. And, he was wrestling, too, during that period, but, that was already past his heyday. But as an announcer, early Jerry Lawler was great, and even during the Attitude Era, he was really good. Unfortunately, the quality of his announcing has gone down in recent years, and I really get the vibe that he's doing it as a job, and it's not something he's quite as passionate about as he used to be. That's just the way I sense it. It just feels like he's phoning it in more times than not. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe it's just age. Maybe it's just because he's getting older. Who knows? But I mean, yeah, it just seems like he sounds like every other announcer at this point. You know, I wish he'd. It just doesn't feel like he has all that much excitement when he's calling the action. It's like, okay, this is happening, and he throws in his jokes every now and then, and that's about it. Hey Aaron, what did you think of Unforgiven 2006? It had both a great TLC match and a Hell in a Cell match. Do you think this was overkill or a great way to increase pay-per-view buy rates? Well, regarding it being overkill, I would say that that's too much. You can use one stipulation match to build up a pay-per-view and have that being the selling point. It was kind of weird to see WWE have several big stipulation matches on that pay-per-view, and plus it was Trish Stratus's retirement match, so you really had a lot of stuff for a B show, not one of the major pay-per-views. With that being said, Unforgiven 2006 was one of the best WWE pay-per-views of that year. I would say the best pay-per-view after WrestleMania and the One Night Stand pay-per-view that year. I mean, you had the Hell in a Cell match with DX and the McMahons and Big Show, and McMahon's head going in Big Show's ass. I mean, that was classic stuff. And the TLC match was excellent. John Cena and Edge, and I know a lot of people didn't like the fact that Cena won. That's the usual reaction, but that was still a great match. And as I mentioned before, Trish Stratus retiring, so there were some significant moments on that pay-per-view, and definitely one of the best of that period. All right, this one comes from Dude Love 1. Aaron, do you think the primetime players deserve a push, and do you think they'd make good baby faces? I think they're funny and have great chemistry. To be honest with you, I'm not really crazy about the tag team. I really soured on them a few months ago when they did that Pancake Patterson deal with John Cena. I mean, that was so bad, and this is just my opinion, but ever since that point, I really have no interest in the primetime players. I think that it hurt a lot when they lost Abraham Washington. I thought that was when they had the most potential. And then, of course, he got released or whatever. But yeah, I think he helped them, and the three of them together. There was a little bit more chemistry there. Maybe if they turn baby faces, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to try. All right, this one comes from Tony Two Fly. What do you think of Rampage Jackson joining TNA, and what do you think he will go for in the future? I do see it as a positive. I know, a lot of people were disappointed that he was the big so-called free agent that TNA was signing. But the fact is, he is a wrestling fan, and I think that that's a plus. And I do think he has charisma, and I think he has potential. I do feel that he has a better chance of finding success in wrestling than King Mo. Let's put it that way. I don't know if TNA is the right choice for him. If he really wanted to pursue wrestling, I think he would be best off training in WWE developmental and then going to WWE. I think WWE would utilize him better, but he wants to keep doing fighting, so he's got to deal with Bellator and TNA. The whole Spike TV package. So that's what he's going to do for the time being. But if he's really serious about it, I think that he has a decent shot of at least having somewhat level of success. All right, this one comes from Evil Monk 84482. Hey Aaron, as a former resident of the Santa Clarita Valley myself, what are your favorite live events you attended in SoCal? And did you ever attend any of the independents in SoCal? I've been to a number of PWG shows. I've probably been to at least a dozen over the years, and those are always really entertaining. And it's the same 300-400 people that show up for every show, but the shows are really good, and it's worth checking out at least once. So if you're ever in the LA area and there's a PWG show, make sure you check it out. As far as some of the other indies go, Barry Cohen runs a really good promotion. It's called MPW. You could check them out online, Millennium Pro Wrestling. and the EWF, the Empire Wrestling Federation. Some of you remember Wade Needham, the former NoDQ&AV announcer. He works with them, so check out EWF, check out MPW, and of course PWG. I mean, those are the three best ones in SoCal, in my opinion. All right, this last one today comes from Brock and Punk 91. Hey Aaron, great show. What are your thoughts on the Undertaker versus Randy Orton feud in 2005? I think it helped Orton a lot to develop his, quote, legend killer gimmick and made him more believable as a heel. Please answer in video. Well, I definitely think that feud helped rebound Randy Orton's career because, he kind of fell down the totem pole with the whole babyface turn, and then that world title run basically flopped. So once they turned him heel, he started to gain some of his momentum back. And, the WrestleMania 21 match was great. I was there live. And people really believed that he had a chance of ending the streak. And there were a couple of times, a couple of close calls where people thought that he was going to lose the match. And I really enjoyed that match. And that feud actually went on for quite some time. I mean, it went from WrestleMania all the way up to Armageddon that year. So... and I think they had a match at SummerSlam that Orton won. So it was a back-and-forth feud, and, the Armageddon match was great as well. Just probably the best feud of 2005. I mean, it's right up there with Triple H and Batista and Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. Any one of those feuds, I think, could be argued as the best feud of that year. All right, that'll do it for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Make sure you stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all the very latest regarding WWE Payback. And to subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/NoDQ&AW. And I'll see you guys next time for more NoDQ&A video.